Sometimes being a girl isn't easy. At some point, someone will probably tell you no, will tell you to be quiet, and may even tell you your dreams are impossible. Don't listen to them. These women certainly did not take no for an answer. They persisted. Welcome to our famous women presentations. Throughout our program, we will be reading excerpts like this one from the book She Persisted by Chelsea Clinton. We hope you enjoy our presentations.
Hi, my name is Henry, and I want to tell you about the research I did on Betsy Ross. She is best known for making the first American flag. Her birthday was January 1st, 1752, and was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and lived there her whole life. She has 16 brothers and sisters. She was lucky because she got to go to school. Most women in the 1700s did not get to go to school. She has 3 husbands. 2 died fighting in the war. Betsy Ross reminds me of my mom because she is creative. If I could meet her, I would ask, how many flags did you make? If I could give her an award, it would be for sewing. I had fun learning about Betsy Ross, and I hope you did too.
Hi, my name is Julia, and my
famous woman is Elizabeth Blackwell. I'm going to tell you about her. Elizabeth was born in England February 3rd, 1821. She is the third oldest child of 8 brothers and sisters. Elizabeth spent most of her life in Ohio after moving from England in 1832. As Elizabeth was growing up, she was interested in becoming a doctor, and she was a girl who would do anything she put her mind to. Back then, there were no female doctors, so it was hard to try to find a medical school that accepted women. Finally, Geneva College accepted her. She graduated in 1849, and she became the first ever woman doctor. But people still would not hire her because she was a woman. And because of that, she opened her own clinic in New York, and it was a clinic for women. Other women were inspired by Elizabeth to become doctors. Something I learned from Elizabeth is that girls can do anything. In conclusion, she sadly died in 1916. She was 89. Today, she is still remembered as the first woman doctor.
Hi, I am Sophie, and I'm here to tell you about a famous woman named Clara Barton. Clara Barton was born on December 25th, 1821 in Massachusetts. She had a mom and dad. She also has 2 older brothers and sisters. She started school at the age 4. When she was an adult, she became a teacher. Clara started New Jersey's first public school. She also was a nurse. Clara looked for missing or dead soldiers during the Civil War. She started the American Red Cross. Clara is remembered as a nurse and the angel of the battlefield. People thought she was kind and helpful. She reminds me of my mom. 2 things I learned are the Red Cross helps people and the Red Cross helps people during wars. If I met her, I would ask her, do people try to hurt you? One thing that amazed me is that she lived up to 91 years old. She died on April 12, 1912. That is why Clara Barton is a famous woman.
Growing up in Poland, Marie Curie knew that because she was a girl, she would have to leave her country to go to college. She persisted, moving to France to pursue her dream of becoming a scientist. Her hard work and radioactivity, the way that some materials give off energy, led her to becoming the first woman awarded a Nobel Prize in physics. A few years later, she discovered 2 new elements, one of which is named polonium, after her own home country. For that work, she won her 2nd Nobel Prize in chemistry. She was the first person in the world, man or woman, to receive 2 Nobel Prizes.
Have you ever heard of Marie Curie? I am Ford, and I will tell you about her. She was born in Warsaw, Poland on November 7, 1867. Both her parents were teachers. Marie was very smart. When her older siblings needed help on their homework, Marie was the one to help. When she was 10, her mother died of a disease. Then her father lost his job, and her sister Zosa died also of a disease. Even though this was a difficult time for Marie, she still graduated from high school. Marie wanted to go to college, but in Poland, college was only for men. Marie learned that college could attend in France. Her sister Branya and Maria made a plan to move to France and attend college. Branya would graduate college first and pay for Marie to go. She graduated in only 3 years and then became a scientist. Marie met her husband here in college. He was also a scientist. became world-famous scientists for their experiments. Marie is most famous for discovering two new elements, helium and radium. She also made many X-rays for her soldiers. Marie died in 1934. She is remembered for being a very important scientist.
Hi, I'm excited to tell you about Georgia O'Keeffe. I am Greta Howard. It's nice to meet you. Georgia O'Keeffe was born in 1887 on her family's large farm in Washington. Her mom thought it was so important she made Georgia and her sister have art lessons. Georgia went to the art studies of Legacy of New York and finally the art industry of Chicago. As an adult, she loved to visit a gallery in New York that displayed her art there. She met a well-known photographer named Alfred Stieglitz. Alfred really liked modern art. He tried to get some people interested in it. After Georgia finished school, she thought she should teach art in Texas for a while. She took a job there. Georgia's paintings got a lot of attention at first. People were curious to see a woman artist. Alfred and Georgia got married, and they moved to an apartment high up in a big hotel. She started painting pictures of the city. People in the city were surprised when a woman was painting the city, because at this point most were done by men. Years later, Georgia got invited to stay with some friends in New Mexico. Georgia spent the rest of her time there. Georgia traveled back to New York for work, but after Alfred died, Georgia moved to New Mexico for good. Georgia O'Keeffe lived to be 98 years old. She died in 1949. She reminds me of my dad because he is good at art and smart about it. If I could meet her, I would ask, what is your favorite painting? Something that amazes me about her is she was the best artist I know. That is why I picked Georgia O'Keeffe to be my famous woman.
I'm delighted to be here to tell you about Amelia Earhart. Hello, my name is Amelia was born on July 24th, 1897 in Atchison, Kansas. Amelia lived most of her life in Kansas. Amelia had a dad, mom, and sister. Amelia's dad started to lose all his jobs. Finally, they moved to Chicago and left Mr. Earhart behind after moving a lot. After moving a lot, she felt lonely because she had to leave Kansas behind along with her cousins and grandparents. Growing up, she was athletic and cheerful. Unlike other girls, she climbed trees and hunted rats with a rifle. Amelia saw her first plane at only 10 years old. That was old to see a plane for your first time. She looked up to other women before. Amelia fought for women's rights. Amelia loved flying her plane named Friendship. In the middle of trying to fly across the Atlantic solo, equipment was failing in the middle of a storm, but she made it. Amelia is remembered for being the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean solo. Then she tried to fly around the world, but she just vanished. Some people think the Japanese took her. It is still a mystery today. I think Amelia is brave because she tried to fly around the world. She reminds me of the pilot that flew me and my family to France because he let me sit in the driver's seat of the airplane and press buttons. Two lessons I learned are never give up and follow your dreams. If I were to meet Amelia Earhart, I would ask her what did it feel like to fly in an airplane solo. One thing that amazes me is that she tried to fly around the world. Amelia Earhart died on July 16, 1937. I hope you learned something new about Amelia Earhart.
After Maria Tolchi's family moved to California, partly to support Maria's dreams of becoming a dancer, she was teased by students in school for her Native American heritage and later encouraged to change her last name to something that sounded Russian. So many professional dancers at the time were from Russia. She persisted, ignoring all the taunting and poor advice to become the first grade American premier ballerina. Hello, my name is Kobe and I'm delighted to tell you about Rachel Carson. She was born on May 27, 1907. She grew up on a farm in Springdale, Pennsylvania with her brother Robert and her sister Marianne. She learned a lot about nature while living on the farm. She also listened to her mother read nature stories about nature. Rachel Carson published her first book at the age of 10. Her friend wrote her a letter about pesticides. There sprang a pesticide called DDT and made the birds who ate it die. She wrote about this in her most famous book, Silent Spring. When they found out, the pesticide companies got mad. They didn't want people to stop buying the pesticides. Scientists found out that she was right. She grew up. She was remembered for being an environmentalist. She cares for animals and is smart. If I were to meet her, I would ask her, do you like every animal? To conclude, she reminds me of myself because I also like animals and help them. She died on April 13, 1964. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Alex Deneen, and my famous poem is Babe Didrikson Zaharias. On June 26, 1911, in Port Arthur, Texas, Babe was born. She lived most of her life in Dallas, Texas. In Babe's family, there were 7 children. Papa built a gym in her backyard so the children could get exercise and have fun. As she grew up and went to high school, she joined the Golden Cyclones, which was a basketball team. Babe liked jumping, running, and throwing. As an adult, Babe Didrikson married a wrestler. Babe began playing golf. She was quite a star in the world of ladies golf. Babe won a championship for amateur golfers. During this time, it was uncommon for females to be golfers, so she helped support them. She helped support them by making a group. Babe stopped playing golf in 1955. She joined the House of David baseball team. She got cancer in late 1952. Babe Didrikson is remembered for being a great athlete. Babe is strong and athletic. She reminds me of Lynn because she's good at running like Lynn. I learned Babe's real name was Mildred Didrikson. I also learned that Babe made world records in the javelin throw. If I could meet her, I would ask, what is the javelin throw? It amazes me that she played baseball. Babe Didrikson died September 27, 1956 because of cancer at the age of 45. I hope you enjoyed learning about Babe Didrikson Zaharias.
My famous woman is Maria Talkif. My name is Veronica and I'm delighted to tell you about Maria. Maria was born January 24, 1925 in Fairfax, Oklahoma. Maria had a dad, mom, and a sister, Marjorie. Even at a young age, Maria felt the music in her body. Maria played the piano for most of her life. Maria's first dance teacher was Mrs. Savin. She had her dance on point when she was young. In 1933, her family moved to Los Angeles because they wanted a better education for the girls. When they got to Los Angeles, they went to meet Maria's new dance teacher. His name was Mr. Bleacher. Mr. Bleacher told the girls that they had to start again from the beginning because everything they learned from Mrs. Savin was wrong. One day, her father told her she needed to pick either piano or dance. She chose dance. At the age of 12, she met a new dance teacher, Madame Najinska. Madame Najinska was strict and had Maria do everything like a dancer, even while waiting for the bus. One day, the Ballets Rushes de Monte Carlo performed in Los Angeles, and Maria watched them dance. Maria was impressed at how beautifully they moved. After Maria graduated high school, she went to New York. In 1943, she had her first solo performance. The next year, she joined the Paris Opera. It was the first time in 108 years an American dancer danced at the Paris Opera. To avoid discrimination, People told Maria to change her last name. She said no. Maria was proud to be Native American and was proud of her name. Next, she danced at the New York City Ballet and became a prima ballerina there. Maria danced her most famous role here. In 1949, Maria danced in Fireborn and it made her very famous. In 1965, she retired from dancing and moved to Chicago, Illinois. In 1956, she married Henry Pashton and got a daughter named Elise Pashton. She divorced Henry in 2004. Maria died at 88 in the year 2013. If Maria was still alive, I would ask, was it hard to start on point? Maria reminds me of my sister Anna Maria because Anna Maria does ballet. I hope you enjoyed learning about Maria Talchi.
I learned about an interesting woman named Anne Frank. Hi, I'm Luke and I'm going to tell you about her. Anne was born on June 12, 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. Anne had one sister named Margot and her parents were Otto and Edith Frank. Anne's family moved from Germany to the Netherlands in 1933 because the Nazis took over the German government. Her family was safe there for a bit of time. She had lots of friends there too. She wanted to become a writer, but then the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. Anne's family was not safe there anymore. Her dad decided to go into hiding. He built a secret space in his office building. Anne referred to that as the Annex. Her family started hiding from the Nazis in 1942. They were found in 1944. They were taken to a concentration camp where Anne eventually got sick and died. She was remembered for writing a diary while hiding. In her diary, she wrote about her feelings, books she read, and what life was like in hiding. Her dad was the only survivor, and it was he who published her diary. It is written in 46 languages. She was smart and talkative. She reminds me of Pops and my mom because Pops was in a war and Anne was in a war. And my mom was talkative like Anne. 2 lessons I learned from her are to be persistent and life can be hard. If I can be her, I would ask her how to write good stories. One thing that amazes me about her was she's in hiding. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. What did you learn?
My famous woman is Jane Goodall. My name is Hudson and I'm going to tell you about her. She was born on April 3rd, 1934 in London, England. Her mom was a writer and her dad was a business person. On her first birthday, her mother gave her a cuddly toy chimpanzee. She named it Jubilee. When she was 7, she read a book called The Story of Dr. Driddle. It was about a guy who could talk to animals. She wanted a job where she could learn more about animals. Jane said that she wanted to go to Africa. She wanted to study the animals. She would have to pay for the trip herself. She worked as a waitress until she earned enough money to go to Africa. She was 23 years old. It took her 21 days by boat. In Africa, she met with Dr. Leakey, who was an anthropologist. Dr. Leakey told her about a job studying chimpanzees. For a year, she read everything about chimpanzees. She was told that women couldn't be alone in the forest, so her mom came with her. For a lot of months, she had trouble getting close to any chimps. A few months after she and her mom arrived, they became sick from an illness called malaria. They ran fevers up to 105 degrees. They could not eat. After 10 days, they were feeling better. After a few days passed, most of the chimps got used to Jane. 1962, someone named Hugo Van Leeuwen came to the camp to take pictures of the chimpanzees. Hugo and Jane had a lot in common. They fell in love and later got married. In 1974, Hugo and Jane got divorced, and Jane later married Derek Bryson. Jane then lost her husband, Derek, to cancer. Also, she learned that chimpanzees in Africa were being killed or dying out. This inspired Jane to do more. In 1977, she founded the Jane Goodall Institute. It was located in Tucson, Arizona. She was hoping this would help save the world's chimps. 2 things I learned about her are that she loves chimps and she founded the Jane Goodall Institute. If I met her, I would say, "Can you teach me to make friends with chimpanzees?" And today she is still helping chimps. I hope you learned something about Jane Goodall.
woman to serve as both as U.S. representative and a U.S. Senator, Margaret Chase Smith could have let that fact alone be her legacy. Instead, she persisted in championing women's rights and more opportunities for women in the military, standing up for free speech and supporting space exploration. The head of NASA once noted that we wouldn't have put a man on the moon without Margaret. I read this interesting story about Margaret Howard. I'm actually going to tell you about her. She was born on August 17, 1936 in Poly, United States. She lived most of her life in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Her family members were mom and dad. Some of her hobbies are music and acting. Three things that her as an adult are: she's an engineer, scientist, and part of the software engineering division Draper Lab. One of her struggles was making her own company. She is remembered by how great engineer she is. She designed the software that was able to spot errors and complete the most important jobs first to help humans successfully land on the moon. Two quotes she had is smart, and so much she reminds me of is my mom because they have the same grandfather. If I could talk to her, I would say, what was it like being an engineer? Those were some facts I learned about Margaret Howard.
Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm learning about a famous woman named Wilma Rudolph. Wilma Rudolph was born on June 23, 1940. She was born in a little town in Tennessee called Clarksville. When she was born, she was very sick. At age 6, she was diagnosed with polio. William's family took turns rubbing her legs to make them feel better. Rudolph's parents took her to the hospital when she was a kid. All of her family's hard work helped William. When she took off her brace, she started to walk. Rudolph played basketball at age 11. Her coach called her Skeeter. Rudolph was a basketball star. Rudolph also ran track. Rudolph's team won a bronze medal in the 4x100 relay. Rudolph wanted to be a teacher, so she studied hard. She had 4 kids. She published a book in 1977. Rudolph wrote about her life. Rudolph was on a postal stamp in 2004. Rudolph died of brain cancer. He reminds me of my uncle because they're both athletic. If I could meet her, I would ask how fast can you run. I hope you enjoy learning about Wilma Rudolph.
Hi, my name is Mira, and I want to tell you about the research I did on Bonnie Zaccarelli. She's best known for My Little Pony. Bonnie Zaccarelli was born November 14, 1946 in Norwood, Massachusetts. She lived all over the world, but settled in Rhode Island. As an adult, Bonnie liked to draw and take care of horses. As a child, she went to Syracuse University to study biology. After the year, she switched her major to illustration. One of her jobs was creating greeting cards. While she worked for Hasbro, she gave Mr. Potato Head his arms. After working for Hasbro, Bonnie went to Parker Brothers when she got to play games all day long. There was not many women designing toys when Bonnie started working for Hasbro. If I had to describe her, I would say she's creative and patient. If I could meet Bonnie Zaccarelli, I would ask her, do you still design toys? And the award that I would give her is the Greatest Story Maker Award. Research about Bonnie Zaccarelli was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed my research project.
Hi, my name is May, and I learned about a famous woman named Mae Jemison. May was born on October 17, 1956, in Decatur, Alabama. May had a mom and dad, one brother and sister. When May was a bit older, she was interested in science and space. May moved to many different places. Then when May was older, she had a problem with her dream of becoming a scientist, because at the time most scientists were men. When May was in high school, she asked the teacher a question, and the teacher looked at her as if she didn't know anything. But later, a male student asked the same question and was praised for asking it. Eventually, she became a doctor. From there, she continued to learn. Then May learned of an opportunity. NASA was accepting new candidates. She was accepted. When May was an adult, she became an astronaut and scientist. May is famous for being the first African American woman to go to space. She also won many awards. She reminds me of myself because she's brave, smart, and she wanted to be an astronaut when she grew up. She amazes me because she became the first ever African American woman to go to space. A lesson I learned about her is to never give up and keep trying, even if it is hard. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed listening and learning about May Jameson.
Hi, my name is Ellen, and I'm excited to tell you about Ellen Ochoa. Ellen Ochoa was born on May 10, 1958 in Los Angeles. Ellen has 3 brothers, 1 sister, and a mom and a dad. Ellen stayed in California but moved to Livermore, California when she graduated. Ellen had a lot of interests such as playing the flute, math, science, and she also wanted to be the President of the United States. In 1980, she wanted to graduate school and made an invention called an optical inspection system to use when she goes to space. When she went to school, Ellen met some people who were in NASA's training program. Ellen decided to qualify to the training program. Ellen got in the training program in 1980 at NASA. Ellen Ochoa is remembered as the first female Hispanic American astronaut to go into space. 2 things I learned were women who want to be astronauts have to train hard, and when you're done, your dreams can come true. If I were to meet her, I would say it is exciting that you're the first female Hispanic American astronaut to go into outer space. Her struggle was her professor told her it wasn't the right field for her, but she still went on. Ellen is married and has 2 sons. She is still encouraging students, especially girls, to follow their dreams. In conclusion, I hope you enjoyed listening to my presentation about Ellen Ochoa.
Hi, I'm Dylan, and today I will be sharing my report about Jacqueline Kennedy. She was born on July 28, 1929 in Southampton, New York. The place she lived most of her life was New York City. Her mom was Janet Balver, her dad was John Balver. She went to Vassar College. Jackie liked writing and painting and liked learning about other countries. She was beautiful and fashionable. She worked as a newspaper reporter after she graduated college. She married John Kennedy in 1953. They had 4 children, but 2 died as babies. Her husband, John, became the President of the United States. She was then the First Lady of the United States. She went to many countries. She could speak Italian, Spanish, and French. People enjoyed Jackie's style, and many copied her. She even made the first catalog of the White House art. She reminds me of my mom because they are both kind. I learned she had a good life, and it is tough to be the First Lady of the United States. If I could say something to her, it would be, I think you are brave. One thing that amazed me is she married 2 people. Sadly, Jackie died because of cancer in 1994. She is remembered for being a role model of women and her love of art.
When as a kid, Florence Griffiths Joyner visited her father in Mojave Desert, he would urge her to run faster and faster, to run as fast as a jackrabbit. Even when she had to leave college to support her family, she persisted in her training on track. When back to school and got faster and faster.
Her broke the world records 100 meters and 200 meter sprint set at the 1980 Summer Olympics. She is still the fastest woman ever.
I learned about a famous woman named Mia Hamm. My name is Vic and I'm going to tell you about Mia Hamm. Mia was born on March 17, 1972 in Selma, Alabama. While she was growing up, other people thought sports was for boys. She had a brother named Garrett. Garrett died in a blood disorder. She went from Blake Braddock High School to Notre Dame High School. She married a famous baseball player named Nomar. She had kids named Anthony, Grace, and Anna. She had kids and that she liked to play soccer and that she was the MVP of the national team. She had partial clubfoot. She is remembered for being the best female soccer player. I describe Mia as respectful and adventurous. Mia reminds me of my sister because they both play soccer. 2 lessons I learned from Mia is to never give up and work hard. If I were able to meet Mia, I would say you're so good at soccer. Something that amazes me is that she was the greatest female soccer player. Now you know about Mia Hamm.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth and I want to introduce you to Taylor Swift. She was born in Reading, Pennsylvania on December 13, 1989. Her and her little brother and her mom and dad lived on a Christmas tree farm. When she was 14, she moved to Nashville, Tennessee. She tried other schools before going to Hendersonville High School. As a kid, Taylor loved to write her own songs and sing. After school, she went to perform at clubs. At the age of 16, she got her first record label from Big Machine Records. Over the years, she made many more albums and has won many Billboard Musical Awards and Grammy Awards. I think she is talented and smart for a singer and songwriter. A challenge she faced is Apple Music didn't pay her and she disagreed and said, "I will not make music for you anymore." Then Apple Music paid her. Taylor Swift reminds me of my little sister because she sings a lot. If I could talk to Taylor Swift, I would ask her, do you like writing songs or singing songs better? I would give her an award for being a role model. I think she is a smart woman because she wrote her own songs at the age of 12. I enjoyed researching Taylor Swift and I hope you learned something new today.
Hi, my famous woman is Ella Raisman, and my name is Nikki. I'll tell you about her. She was born on May 25th, 1994, in Massachusetts. She has a brother named Brett and 2 sisters named Chloe and Madison. When she was little, she had a lot of energy. When she was 2, she took gymnastics classes. When she was 3, when she was 10, she took her training seriously. She liked to be lazy for a day, but no one expected her to be a star. She loves to throw exercise, but does not like the anything books. She won a gold medal at the 2012 Olympics and opened with a tumbling pass that people thought was impossible. She took a break from gymnastics into Dancing with the Stars. She did not give up. She reminds me of my sister because they both did gymnastics. From her, I learned not to give up. She has won a lot of medals. I would ask her how many medals have you won. I hope you enjoy my story.
Hi, my name is Philip, and I did some research on an Olympic swimmer named Katie Ledecky. Her birthday is March 17th, 1997. She was born in Washington, D.C., and she lives in Bethesda, Maryland. Katie Ledecky had liked swimming her whole life. She went to college at Stanford University and swam for the swim team there.
Katie won multiple gold medals and set many world records. In the Olympics, she was disappointed when she did not win gold. Katie went to the Olympics because she is a really good swimmer. She is determined and talented. Katie Ledecky reminds me of me because I am a good swimmer. If I could meet her, I would ask her, what is your favorite stroke? And I would tell her mine is freestyle. Researching Katie Ledecky was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed my research project.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I'm excited to tell you about my famous woman, Lori Hernandez. Lori was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey on June 9, 2000. She moved to Old Bridge, New Jersey. Lori's dad worked at a courthouse and her mom works at a school. Lori was homeschooled because it was hard to attend real school because she was always practicing gymnastics. My famous woman is remembered for being a young gymnast and two-time Olympic medalist. She won a gold medal and a silver medal in the Olympics. When she has time off, she spends time with her family and friends. She reminds me of my friend McKenna because they look alike each other. I learned to be confident and strong from this story. If I could meet Lori, I would ask her, how many medals have you won? Lori surprised me because she did amazing flips. I hope you enjoyed learning about Lori Hernandez.
Hi, my name is Maddie and I learned about a famous woman named Chloe Kemp. She was born on April 23, 2000 in La Palma, California. She is a famous snowboarder. She started snowboarding with her dad when she was 4 years old. When she was in 3rd grade, she moved to Switzerland with her aunt so she could learn French. When she was still alone, she got bullied. She was homeschooled for 2 years. She went to Princeton University. She likes science and chemistry. 3 things I learned about her are she is really good at snowboarding, and at the age of 13 she was the first woman to land, and at the age of 13 she became a pro, and she was the first woman to land back-to-back 1080s. It was difficult when she was too young to compete in the Olympics in 2014, and so she rushed out. Instead, she continued to practice. In 2015 and 2016, she won 2 gold medals in the Youth Olympic Games. If I met her, I would ask her, what's your favorite trick you can do? In 2018, she qualified for the Winter Olympics, where she won a gold medal. She also won gold at the 2019 Championship Games. When she is older, she wants to be a lawyer, a doctor, or a scientist. One thing that amazes me is she was the first woman to land back-to-back 1080s. I hope you like learning about Chloe Kemp. So if anyone ever tells you no, or your dreams, or says your voice isn't important, or your dreams are too big, remember these women. They persisted, and so should you. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Please enjoy our final song, Make a Difference. After we will be ready to take pictures. Thank you.